Alright guys, welcome to the third part of Java programming complete course. I'm your instructor. My name is Thomas, and the platform that you are actually interacting with right now is Global Classroom, where we are aiming at dispensing knowledge at no cost. Alright, so this part we are basically going to talk about packages and interfaces. I'm going to introduce packages and interfaces and briefly talk about packages. Then in the next lesson I'll talk about interfaces. Now packages are basically containers. They are containers for classes that are actually used to keep the class namespace compartmentalized, and they are normally stored in a hierarchical manner and are actually explicitly imported into new class definitions. We can also use the interface keyword because using it, Java allows us to fully abstract an interface from its implementation. Okay, you can actually specify a set of methods that can be implemented by one or more classes using the interface keyword. The interface itself does not actually define any implementation, but rather you can use it similar to just like abstract classes, but they have some additional capability, and the capability is simply that a class can actually implement more than one interface. So that is just a brief intro to interface packages and interfaces. So let's talk about packages. So basically packages are, or a package is a mechanism for partitioning the class namespace into more manageable chunks. In other words, it helps us to, a package is like a directory that holds the classes that are related to that particular package. So it is actually a naming and also a visibility control mechanism, since you can define classes that are not accessible by code that is outside the package, and also define members that are exposed to other members of the same package only. So you can also control accessibility with packages, as we will see that. So how do you define a package? To create a package, you simply need to include a package command as being the first statement in a Java source file. As you can see here, we have this command, which is package lessons. In other words, we have the folder called lessons, and we will be able to create classes inside this folder, and the classes inside these folders are able to communicate to each other. The classes inside this folder are able to communicate to each other in terms of visibility. So any classes that we declare within this file will actually belong to this package. Okay, and it's of essence for us to know that Java will use the file system directories to store packages. For example, we have class files for classes that you declare as part of Java classes package, and actually they must be stored in the Java class directories. So we can have many files that can have the same package statements, because it's actually it's simply showing the package, or rather the folder, the directory that all these classes belong. You can also create a hierarchy of packages by making sure you're separating each package name from the one that is above it using a period and all that. Now, for me, I'm gonna teach you packages by focusing on the Eclipse IDE. So the first thing we did was to create this package that we called lessons. So I want us to actually create another package. To do that, you go to file. When you go to file, you go to new, file new, and you go to package. So basically, when we are creating a package, we are creating a folder or a directory that is going to contain the classes that are actually related to that. So let me just call this part 3. Let me just call it part part 3. Let's start with a lowercase and say part 3. So when we create part 3, you realize that apart from this package lessons here that has other files, we have part 3 that does not have any other file. So we can create classes inside these this package, and all these classes will be able to read from one another. Let me just do something. Let me right click here and create a new class. To create a new class, you right click on the package, then you go to new and you come to class. So you can, let's name this class introduction. So when we create this class, the file opens, but it has the package. As you can see here, it has the package part 3, because this class is going to be inside this package. So these classes are actually able to interact with one another. For example, let me create a class here, class box, and let me just give it double length. I'm just gonna give it just the length because I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. So I'm gonna save this. Let me create another class inside another file, or another class rather, inside this package again. And just want you to notice something. If I'm gonna call this introduction again, you see, if I say introduction, what does it say? The type already exists. It means now this file is able to see the other file. So we cannot have two classes with the same name. So we can just call it something different, maybe introduction 2. Okay. And a class conventionally should start with a capital letter. A package conventionally should start with a small letter. So I can create that. Now you see this one still has the package part 3, but the public class is now introduction 2. If I create the same class here, I want you to see the error. So let me say double length. Now we have package part 3. It has the class box. Then when you come here in this package, introduction 1, let's open introduction 1. It also has class box. So these are two files, but they are all existing in the same they are all existing in the same package. So if, for instance, let me change this to something different. They're in the same package. So basically a package helps us to organize classes. Okay, but the question could be, how does the Java runtime system know where to look for packages that you create? Now we can answer that question in 3 parts. And the first one is that by default the runtime system uses the current working directory as its starting point. And now because of this, if your package is in a subdirectory of the current directory, then it will be found. The second answer that I can give is that you can specify a directory path, or maybe paths, by setting the class path environment variable. That is when you're dealing with Javac. You can also use the class path option with Java and also Javac to specify the path to your classes. Now in our case, we are using Eclipse. I'm just going to teach you this way, the way I'm actually using it. Okay, because the second and the third options that I have given are actually used. When they are used, the class path must actually include the path to the package itself.